time it was done. This time it happened to be done by a young brother who I know, who's a spokesperson in the community of Foundation of Black America. He told me he put it out there a few weeks ago, but he said he didn't mean no malice by it. But by then I was already pissed off. But it had surfaced 4 years ago when I'm sitting, the same clip, I'm sitting in Ghana trying to negotiate an $800,000 buy-in to our hotel, right? When somebody circulated that clip that morning. The buyer walked out and said they would never have anything to do with me ever again and pull his $800,000 off the table. So I go like, who did that clip? So this time it surfaced the day before the government of Ghana was giving me their highest award for tourism. And I go like, this don't look right. One time it happened, not happening again. And then when I saw the ban on the bottom where it came from, I responded to that banner. They know why I responded to that banner. They know who circulated that clip. Now, if they didn't mean no malice, I could accept that. But it keeps happening only when I'm about to have something going on in Africa. And I go like, wow, that looks like COINTELPRO to me.
Peace, you know who this is, family. I'm doing this video today. As you saw from the clip I played earlier, I'm going to say this. That sounded and looked like COINTELPRO to me. I'm not going to hold you. 2, I might go over some more things that happened in this interview because Professor James Smalls definitely got some things wrong in the beginning. And 3, what you about to hear from him ultimately is going to lead to what I said was going to happen about how people are going to stop critiquing bad behavior from Black immigrants because they're going to be worried about somebody from FBA taking them out of context and making it seem like they hate Black immigrants. And people going to stop critiquing them because they don't want to be associated with that, which is going to create a golden age for out-of-pocket Black immigrants because nobody's going to be able to critique. Nobody's going to be there to critique them, and if you do critique them, they're just going to accuse you of being FBA, and that's going to silence you because nobody wants to be accused of being FBA. And if FBA try to critique them, nobody's going to pay attention because it's FBA, the hate cult. Nobody cares about what they have to say. So let's just get into this clip right here.
We ain't giving it to nobody.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
My mantra. Secondly, that continent belonged to me long before, for millions of years before I came here. I'm not leaving that wealth in the hands of nobody or allowing the cracker to come back and take the part we've taken away from them. That is simple logic in my political position.
Understood. And there was a second clip of you talking. They pulled a clip of you on 125th Street, and you were talking to Sinetta about continental Africans, and you seem to be upset about some things. And so could you give us some context? Because people are, they're saying that you contradicted yourself there as well. So could you give us some context?
First of all, I, like anybody else, can criticize brothers and sisters from here, from the Caribbean, from Central South America, from Africa, if I think the criticism is warranted. If they don't think the criticism is warranted, then they should respond to that. That day, I was walking across 125th Street. I guess it was almost 8-9 years ago or something.
You said about 2012, 2013. Didn't you say about that?
It's a long time ago.
Exactly. They took an old clip that existed before FBA even existed and took it out of context to try to make Professor James Smalls say something that he didn't say and trying to connect them to the FBA message. This is the same thing they did to Dr. John Henry Clark, where he said, "We don't have no friends." And they took it out of context to say that he was saying Black Americans don't have no friends, when he was saying the Black race doesn't have any friends. This is what the FBA hate cult does. They take your words, they twist it around to try to legitimize the BS that they on. This is the same thing they did to Dr. Greer. ADOS did that, but Dr. Greer got ahead of it, and she nipped that in the butt and let it be known that she is not ADOS. She don't got nothing to do with them. They are misappropriating her work. And that's the reason they stopped saying her. They do the same thing with Dr. Claude Anderson, what they talk about, oh, he created the concept of FBA. No, he didn't. Oh, he was preaching this delineation. No, he's not. He was not talking about no delineation the way y'all talking about it. But we're going to let it keep it going.
I was coming from St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
And this is after Brother Brown had been killed. Some brothers had called a rally out there. And anyway, I'm walking across. Brother Jack is there, Brother Sarnetta, but there's a number of things going on.
Mm-hmm.
What had happened on the 125th Street for the last few weeks leading up to that is the policeman was snatching the products of primarily the young African-American teens, selling their socks, their sneakers, and their tapes, throwing them in garbage bag, taking them away because they didn't have vendor's license.
Mm-mm.
Some of the brothers from the continent had vendor's license. Some didn't. But Jack was trying to get a meeting at the National Black Theater of all of the merchants so they would band together and fight to support the brothers who was getting their products taken away.
Mm-mm.
Well, the brothers from the continent just went numb to that. So I got pissed about that. They didn't want to go to that meeting. They didn't seem to want to unite. I wasn't even asked to do that. I took that upon myself to just kick their asses. That's what that was about. And I didn't, the things that I said was not non-truth. I said it very rude and very brutal, but almost everything I said was an accuracy, right? But it wasn't meant to malign the brothers. It was meant to criticize them. How dare can you stand here, right, and do business when your brothers, whose country you're in, is being snatched up and their products being taken away? And that's what that was a response to. And
then you said in that video you also criticized Black Americans as well, right?
The video is an hour and a half long. I praise Black women. I talk about Pan-Africanism. I talk about nationalism. I talk about economic politics, and all of that's in the video. But somebody took that little 2 minutes. This isn't the first time it was done.
As you heard, see, like he said, the video has the full context. He was criticizing the Africans for not standing with the native Black American people who was getting their stuff taken away. That's the right criticism. We supposed to all stand together. He letting them know how it's supposed to work. We won. We supposed to be one. We supposed to work together. He, like he said, he wasn't trying to malign anybody. He wasn't disrespecting anybody. They just took the clip without the rest of the context of the video and tried to use it to push an FBA narrative, which is crazy to me. But we're going to let him keep talking.
This time it happened to be done by a young brother who I know, who's a spokesperson in the community of Foundation of Black America. He told me he put it out there a few weeks ago, but he said he didn't mean no malice by it. But by then I was already pissed off. But it had surfaced 4 years ago when I'm sitting, the same clip, I'm sitting in Ghana trying to negotiate.
Oh, like he said, he talked to an FBA person and they said they put it out there. They didn't mean no malice by it. They didn't mean malice. That's the COINTELPRO right there. Why would you put out a clip like that knowing that he don't feel that way? If you put out a clip of somebody saying something and the way you put out the clip is disingenuous and makes the person seem to be saying something that they're not, you meant harm. There's no other way to do that. There's no other way to take somebody out of context and put a clip out there and lie about the context of the clip and say, I didn't mean harm. The only way that could be true is if you're stupid. That's the only other way. That's the only way that could be true. You're stupid. But I'm going to let him keep talking.
A $800,000 buy-in to our hotel, right? When somebody circulated that clip that morning, the buyer walked out and said they would never have anything to do with me ever again and pull his $800,000 off the table. So I go like, who did that clip? So this time it surfaced the day before the government of Ghana was giving me their highest award for tourism. And I go like, this don't look right. One time it happened, not happening again. And then when I saw the
See, that is COINTELPRO. Those are that's the tactics of COINTELPRO. Because like I explained to people, matter of fact, I think I need to do that again. I keep putting this clip up and I'm gonna keep putting it up. It's gonna be the explaining of the timeline and the whole ADOS ideology, where FBA comes from. Watch this, family, but make sure you try to get this video to like 200 likes too. Do that for me. But here we go.
Tonight. You say Yvette Carnell made up the DOS term. That's a good term. I'll take my hat off to her. The DOS term is a very good term. I actually like that. Descendants of slaves or descendants of slavery. Very good term. Now, I like that term. You know, I have my differences with Yvette Carnell, but sometimes people do good things. I like that term. American DOS, descendants of slaves, descendants of slavery. All right. I'm here. That's a very good codified term. I like that. And we need to jump on terms like that. You dig? Shout out to Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore. One thing I do commend them about, and Antonio, I've seen some of his videos. He brings good information. You know, they speak up for the African or the Black American experience.
As you heard, family, Tariq is such a grifter that he was trying to steal the term, but somebody in the audience, several people actually, in the live stream audience, made it clear that, hey, that's Yvette Carnell's term. And he had to acknowledge it. You could see it in his face that he didn't want to do it, but he had to. He tried to steal the term in true grifter fashion. So as time would go on, he got down with ADOS. He got down with them, and then he started trying to push his own thing, which at first was Native Black American, but then he realized, hey, I can't trademark this. So he went back, and he couldn't get that to pop. So he went back to ADOS, and then he came up with the bright idea of foundational Black American, something that he could trademark and he could push. And remember, when he did that, he was still preaching that foundational Black American and ADOS is the same thing. Two terms that mean the same thing. Before he started beefing with Yvette Carnell and ADOS, and he made it a full-blown splinter group, But he still held on to the ADOS ideology. And what is the ADOS ideology, and who is Yvette Carnell? Well, Yvette Carnell is the founder and leader of ADOS. This is her, as you see on your screen right now, with the MAGA hat. She created DOS, which now is ADOS, in about 2016, 2017. Around the same time, she was a board member for PIFA. What is PIFA? Progressives for Immigration Reform. And all you have to do is go to irs.gov and you can look them up. They're a tax-exempt organization. You can get their tax records. And then when you look it up, there you see Yvette Carnell, Director. Yvette Carnell, Secretary. Yvette Carnell, Secretary again. That's right, Yvette Carnell. She was a board member, a high-ranking board member of a hate group. And some will say, well, show me that PIFA is a hate group. Because you're showing me that she's a board member, but you're not showing me that it's a hate group. Well, I'm going to do that for you right now. And we're going to start at the beginning with the man himself, John Tanton. He's now deceased, but he is the father of the modern anti-immigrant movement. Now, let's just read about him a little bit. John Tanton was the racist architect of the modern anti-immigrant movement. He created a network of organizations, the Federation for American Immigration Reform, the Center for Immigration Studies, and Numbers USA, that profoundly shaped the immigration debate in the U.S. About John Tanton. A retired Michigan ophthalmologist, Tanton had white nationalist beliefs and wrote that to maintain American culture, a European American majority is required. In his own words, I've come to the point of view that for European American society and culture to persist requires a European American majority, and a clear one at that. December 10, 1993, a letter to the late Garrett Harding, a controversial ecology professor. Now that we have learned about the racist architect of all this anti-immigrant bigotry that we see now we need to learn about the organizations he created and the networks that they spawn. Federation for American Immigration Reform. The Federation for American Immigration Reform, FAIR, is a group with one mission: to severely limit immigration into the United States. Although FAIR maintains a veneer of legitimacy that allows its principals to testify in Congress and lobby the federal government, this veneer hides much ugliness. FAIR leaders have ties to white supremacist groups and eugenicists and have made many racist statements. Its advertisement has been rejected because of its racist content. FAIR's founder, the late John Tanton, has expressed his wish that America remains a majority white population, a goal to be achieved presumably by limiting the number of non-whites who enter the country. One of the group's main goals is to upend the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965, which ended a decades-long racial quota system that limited immigration mostly to Northern Europeans. FAIR's president, Dan Stein, has called the act a mistake. And now that we have some background information on FAIR, the flagship organization, now we're going to learn about PIFA's connection to FAIR. The same PIFA that Yvette Carnell was a board member of, that she only resigned from being a board member of after she got outed and exposed for being a board member of PIFA. And people started to realize, hey, PIFA is just a white nationalist front. And she left them to maintain some level of legitimacy, even though I don't understand how she could maintain any legitimacy for being a part of a white nationalist front group, especially at that high of a rank. Because there's no way you're that stupid that you didn't realize what was going on. You knew. But she left to maintain some level of legitimacy. But here, we're going to get some background information into PIFA. Many speakers at PIFA's events have links to John Tanton, the racist founder of the modern anti-immigrant movement. Representatives from Numbers USA and the Center for Immigration Studies, groups founded by Tanton, participated. The incestuous nature of the Tanton network was embodied in the person of PIFA's executive director, Leah Durant, who formerly was employed by FAIR's legal arm, the Immigration Reform Law Institute. FAIR, which the Southern Poverty Law Center lists as a hate group, was founded by Tanton, who still serves on the group's board. For a time, Durant also was a part of Choose Black America, a FAIR front group supposedly representing the interests of African Americans concerned with high levels of immigration. The group disintegrated not long after its first press conference, which was paid for and stage managed by FAIR. Now, why is this so significant? It's significant because it shows that, one, FAIR is a hate group, and PIFA is a front group for that hate group. So PIFA is also a hate group. And more alarming is that PIFA and FAIR both go out their way to create African American groups to be fronts for them. Because if you don't know, Leah Durant is black. And as you just heard me, they created a black group just for her. They have created, platform, hired, and just signal boost many black organizations. Why? Because their number one strategy is to make black people the face of the anti-immigrant movement. To say, look, it's not racist. Look, we got black people saying that we have a problem with immigration too. That's what makes this so alarming. That's their whole thing. Be anti-democrat and be anti-immigration. To make black people the front group for that. Now it's starting to click for y'all. Why ADOS, Friedman, and FBA, all they talk about all day is anti-democrat nonsense, and they also talk about anti-immigrant nonsense all day. That's all they do. That's all they do. If you look at all their timelines, it's just about how do we attack the Democrats, how do we launder the behavior of the Republicans, and how do we attack immigrants, especially black immigrants. Because that's another way they can really prove that, hey, this is not racial, because not only are black people out in front of the anti-immigrant movement, they are also attacking black immigrants the most. So this is not racial. This is just, Americans being concerned about immigration levels. Now it's clicking, right? It's clicking where Tariq went from hitting colors to now he hates black immigrants. And he loves Trump and the Republicans. It's starting to click now. Remember, he got this ideology from Yvette Carnell. Yvette Carnell, who works for PIFA. She used to work for PIFA. Not just work for them, a board member of PIFA, a white nationalist front group that goes around creating black groups to launder their behavior. And to better show you another example of how PIFA and FAIR uses these black organizations and creates them, I'm going to touch on the Black American Leadership Alliance. And we're going to show you how PIFA uses them. What Bala did not say in that letter or during a press conference in April when it called itself the African American Leadership Council was anything about its provenance. There's a good reason for that. It turns out that Bala is simply the latest front group for FAIR, the flagship of a network of anti-immigrant organizations founded by the white nationalist John Tanton. When it first emerged in April, Bala was openly sponsored by another FAIR front called PIFA, purportedly an organization concerned about the environmental impact of immigration. As late as June, the media spokesperson and phone number listed on Bala's press releases were associated with PIFA. Bala is not the first African American front group formed by FAIR. In 2006, an organization called Choose Black America appeared on the scene. Its black members were selected, flown to press conferences in Washington, lodged there by FAIR. The group's spokesman was a white FAIR official. Though CBA fell apart soon after its debut, the Taunton Network's dream of appearing to represent a rainbow coalition did not die with it. In 2011, FAIR briefly sponsored Blacks for Equal Rights Coalition, a LA-based anti-immigrant organization that has been celebrated by the white supremacist Council of Conservative Citizens. Bala's members includes a familiar cast of Taunton allies, notable among them Leah Durant, an African-American lawyer who is also PIFA's executive director. Durant, who once worked for FAIR's legal arm, also spoke at the press conference held to announce the creation of CBA. As you've seen, family, this looks so familiar. ADOS, FBA, Freeman, they're looking a lot like the CBA and Bala and all the other organizations. Because we didn't even talk about U.S. blacks, all that. And as you also heard, Tanton's dream was to create a quote-unquote rainbow coalition of anti-immigrantness, where he and all his rainbow quote-unquote coalition consisted of was trying to hire black people and platform black people to be anti-immigrant and to spew racist white talking points about immigrants. And say nothing about white immigrants, attack Democrats, and be silent on Republicans. Don't this look familiar? This is what I've been telling y'all for years. This has always been the case with this group. They are a hate group. Remember, I was the first person to call ADOS a hate group. I was the first person to call FBA a hate group. I was the first person to call Freeman a hate group. People said it's not a hate group, it's a lineage. That's not true. It's a hate group. Through and through. This cannot be refuted. But anyway, I'm going to end this video here.
I'm back. So now you can understand where the COINTELPRO-like tactics come from. It's not, as far as I know, as of right now, it's not the government, but the Trump administration could be working with them now. It's a private white nationalist group that's doing this and got them running the COINTEL program. But like he said, I would have called y'all COINTELPRO too. So magically, y'all know I'm in Ghana, and then y'all put that clip out and put it out in a way and you say that I'm here attacking Africans while I'm in Africa. Professor James Small could have got hurt. He could have got killed over there. Where people thought that, oh, you attacking us? Oh, you hate Africans? All right, we got something for you. You think it's sweet over here? Anything could have happened to the brother. And then the second time he in Ghana, y'all put the clip out again? That's malicious. There was malice in that. And no wonder y'all keep talking about that. Because Tariq keeps saying, oh, you must be mad about that hotel money. Because he kept saying that. And I'm like, why you keep bringing up hotel money? Tariq must have knew about that. Because I didn't know that Professor James Smalls lost out on almost $1 million of investment in his hotel money because FBA. He should have been attacking y'all. It wouldn't have got to a second time with me. You lost almost $1 million because somebody put out a clip misrepresenting you while they know you are in Africa, trying to make it seem like you are anti-African. You could have got killed for that. You could have lost all your business dealings in Africa because of that. No wonder Tariq told me, oh, you must just be mad because Pan-Africanism is over. You needed help with the money for your hotel, and that's why you're mad, and that's why you're mad. Tariq must have knew about that. That's dirty. That's dirty. Professor James Smalls is like, now that I know that, I feel like he being way too nice to y'all. He being way too nice to y'all. Way too nice. For y'all that had did that to him. I can't believe that. But I'm going to let him keep going.
The ban on the bottom, where it came from, I responded to that banner. They know why I responded to that banner. They know who circulated that clip. Now, if they didn't mean no malice, I could accept that. But it keeps happening only when I'm about to have something going on in Africa.
That's malice. That's malice. Ain't no, oh, it was an accident. So every time you in Africa and you about to do something, people try to make a clip of what appears to be you attacking Africans go viral. And then you lose out on the stuff you came to Africa to do. And then when you speak out about it, they just say, aha, you mad? Because Pan-Africanism is over. And you just mad that you can't get your bag in Africa. You just mad that you need help with your hotel money and all that other stuff. They did that to you. They doing that on purpose. These people are not your friends. That's pure malice.
And I go like, wow, that looks like COINTELPRO to me. I didn't know who it came from at that point.
Oh yeah,
I just
know.
know myself constantly when I do certain things are happening. Now, let me give some background because most of the young people.
Now he's about to go into his resume and tell his story. I'll probably do another video about that, but I just wanted to stop this video here because it's going on long enough. Family, thank you for rocking with me to the end. This is what I'm talking about. Look what just happened to Professor James Smalls. How many people you think will ever speak out against something bad that an African did in America ever again when they got to worry about somebody from FBA taking a clip and misrepresenting it and causing problems for them in their real life? Because in real life, Black people, especially at the highest level, you're dealing with Black immigrants all day long. You're dealing with people who has Black immigrant ancestry. You're dealing with people who are married to Black immigrants. You're dealing with people who are best friends with Black immigrants. And if they feel that you are anti-Black immigrant, they're going to be anti-you. You're going to lose out on opportunities. This is what I'm talking about. This is what FBA is doing. So like I said, the golden age, because nobody's going to ever speak out against you if you out of pocket. And if you do speak out, you got to worry about FBA misrepresenting you. And then now it's messing you up in real life. Because like I said, at the highest levels of everything from academia to entertainment to politics, Black immigrants are overrepresented at the top. And people who bang with them are overrepresented at the top. You going there on that type of timing, or people think you on some anti-Black immigrant timing, you ain't going nowhere. And that's in America. Now imagine you trying to be international and do business international. That's clipped. That's done. But anyway, thank you for rocking with me to the end. Please try to get this video up to like 200 likes. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Donate to me if you can. PayPal, Cash App, super thanks. Email me. Join the channel. Hit the bell. Follow me on my social media sites. My DMs is open. And on that note, family, peace.